Our story begins a week before Halloween, with a boy named Peter. He's a quiet kid, a bit of a loner, and he doesn't have many friends or much of a social life. Peter lives with his parents, Mark and Carol, in an old house in town. He's their only child. One night, as 8-year-old Peter is sleeping peacefully in his room, he's suddenly startled awake by a strange noise. He looks around but can't see anyone. He tries to ignore it and go back to sleep, but the noise comes back, even louder this time. Terrified, Peter turns on the lights. Oddly, the noise seems to be coming from behind the wall. So, he gets up, goes over to the wall, and knocks on it. And something bizarre happens. He gets a knock back in response. Scared out of his wits, Peter goes to tell his mom about the strange noise. His mom checks it out, but she can't hear anything unusual. She reassures Peter that old houses can make weird sounds and reminds him that his imagination can sometimes make things seem scarier than they really are. The next day at school, we learn that Peter, being an introverted kid, is often the target of his classmates' bullying. At school, the principal introduces the kids to their substitute teacher, Miss Devine. Peter decides to stay inside during recess to avoid the bullies. Miss Devine is kind and lets him help decorate the classroom. Suddenly, a spider appears, startling Peter. Miss Devine captures the spider and helps Peter release it outside, showing him a little kindness that makes him feel a bit better. Later, Peter asks his parents if he can go trick-or-treating for Halloween, but his dad Mark takes the conversation in a different direction. Mark tells Peter about a tragic event from years ago when a little girl disappeared on Halloween night while trick-or-treating. This incident still haunts the neighborhood, and Carol doesn't like thinking about it. Due to this story, Peter's parents refuse to let him go trick-or-treating, so he has to spend Halloween evening in his room. While Peter is asleep, something even stranger happens. A bump appears on the wall, and a voice calls his name from behind the wall. It terrifies Peter, and he calls for his dad. Mark investigates but hears nothing and thinks it might be rats making the noise. The next day, Mark and Peter decide to deal with the potential rat problem by getting some rat poison from the shed outside. During this, Peter mentions that it smells like cinnamon, but Mark warns him not to eat it. Mark believes Peter is just scared of rats and doesn't realize there might be something more sinister at play. At school the next day, Miss Devine notices a drawing that Peter did. It's a picture of a child asking for help in a dark room. This concerns her, so she pays a visit to Peter's house to check on him. She introduces herself to Carol and shares her concerns about the drawing. Carol dismisses it, attributing it to Peter's overactive imagination. After Devine leaves, Carol questions Peter about the drawing. But he only says it's something from his imagination, not revealing that the voice from behind the wall prompted him to draw it. Later that night, Peter wakes up to the sound of a knock on his bedroom wall and a voice calling his name from behind it. The voice offers to be his friend, but if he doesn't want one, she'll leave. Feeling lonely and friendless, Peter decides he'd like to talk and asks the voice to stay. The next day at school, we see Peter carving a jack-o'-lantern, which he proudly names Hector. His teacher, Miss Devine, praises his work, making it her favorite. However, trouble brews when a jealous bully named Brian, overhearing the praise, pushes Peter during recess, causing him to fall and crush his pumpkin. Back at home, Peter shares his bullying experience with the mysterious voice in the wall. Tearfully, Peter admits that Brian is bullying him. The voice advises him to stand up for himself. The next day, Brian unexpectedly brings a pumpkin to school and apologizes to Peter. However, the voice continues to whisper to Peter, suggesting that he should make Brian afraid of him. Encouraged by the voice, Peter pushes Brian down a flight of stairs, accidentally breaking Brian's leg. Now Peter faces expulsion from school, and at home, his dad, Mark, demands an explanation. Peter tells them about the voice and the drawing he made, implying that the voice influenced him. Frustrated, Mark grounds Peter and locks him in the basement as punishment. Alone in the basement, Peter tries to communicate with the voice, but it remains silent, bringing him to tears. Later, he discovers a mysterious pit beneath a grate, inside of which lies a peculiar doll. Miss Devine decides to visit Peter after his expulsion from school and leaves her phone number on his quiz. She visits his house, where she meets Mark, who appears suspicious with a hammer and offers her coffee. During their conversation, Devine notices Mark's bleeding hand, which he attributes to home repairs. Devine discusses Peter's schooling, but Mark insists on homeschooling by Carol. Devine suggests that Peter may benefit from a different learning environment due to his behavior, leading to an argument with Peter's parents. From the basement, Peter overhears the commotion and tries to get their attention, but the noise from the washing machine drowns out his calls. As evening falls, Carol brings pumpkin pies to Peter, allowing him to leave the basement. She gives him a bath, and Mark talks to Peter about telling untrue stories, encouraging him to be truthful. His parents decide he won't return to school. Later that night, Peter knocks on the wall to talk to the voice, and she responds. He tells her about being locked in the basement, and she warns him to be cautious around his parents, as they might not be what they seem. Peter expresses his desire to see her, but she declines, hinting that her appearance might not be pleasing. The voice behind the wall shares a secret with Peter. There's a hidden hole behind the wallpaper. Encouraged by her words, he peels off the wallpaper and finds the concealed hole. He throws a ball into it, and then asks the voice who she is. To his astonishment, she drops a bombshell. She's his sister, Sarah. Sarah reveals that she had to wait until Peter was big enough to move the clock that hides the door, so he could help her escape from the darkness within the wall. She also discloses that Mark and Carol are evil, and something ominous is approaching for Peter. Later that night, Peter is startled by knocking on his door, but when he opens it, he doesn't see anyone. He spots his mother coming out of the bathroom, and suddenly, the lights in the house go out. He calls for his dad but is horrified to see his parents take on a terrifying, demonic appearance. The next morning, Peter finds his mother by his bedside, who reassures him that it was just a bad dream. As night falls once again, Sarah convinces Peter that his parents plan to kill her and then imprison him within the walls. Peter is skeptical, so Sarah tells him they've already done so and urges him to check what's hidden in the garden. Driven by curiosity, Peter starts digging in the garden the next day and uncovers a human skull. Unbeknownst to him, Carol is looking for him in his bedroom, peeking through his window. Before she can intervene, Peter quickly buries the skull and tells her he's thinking of carving a pumpkin. Later, Sarah reveals to Peter that the fateful day was Halloween before they locked her inside the wall. Determined to free her, Peter decides to seek help from someone he knows. He goes to his parents' room to use the phone and dials Miss Devine for assistance. Suddenly, a noise startles him, and his mom, Carol, confronts him about reaching out to a stranger. She leads him back to his room, expressing disappointment. She also discovers the peeled wallpaper and the hole behind it, leaving in fear and warning Peter that whatever happens next is his fault. That night, Sarah advises Peter to take action against his parents, or risk sharing her fate. Summoning his courage, Peter observes his parents in a serious conversation. Mark is concerned about the temporary solutions they've been using. Caught eavesdropping, Peter rushes back to his room, but Mark tells him they'll deal with the garden the next day. The following day, Mark and Peter are in the garden, and Mark has already dug it up, possibly disposing of the skeleton as well. Mark explains that black rot is spreading through the garden, killing everything, and they plan to bury the pumpkins, hoping for better crops. Meanwhile, Brian and his cousin show up, seeking revenge against Peter. During dinner that evening, the doorbell rings, annoying Carol, who scolds away trick-or-treaters. Mark notices an unusual smell in the soup, similar to cinnamon, and realizes something is wrong. He also sees the shed door open, and Peter hasn't touched his food. Mark questions Peter, who reveals that Mark hurt his sister. The parents are shocked to hear this, and Mark realizes that Peter put rat poison in their dinner soup. Suddenly, Mark begins to groan, and he asks Carol to call 911. But Carol discovers the phone cord has been cut. Amid the chaos, Mark succumbs to the poison and dies. It's at this point that Carol realizes what Peter has done. In a panic, Carol grabs a knife and chases Peter upstairs. However, she also becomes ill and starts vomiting blood. Peter escapes by kicking his mother down the stairs, and he notices that Carol has accidentally stabbed herself with the knife. As he bends down to retrieve the keys from his mother, she wakes up, grabs his leg, and urgently warns him not to let her out. But Peter ignores her. Inside his room, he approaches the clock as Sarah instructed. He tells her he's brought the keys, and she guides him to move the clock. As he attempts this, the clock topples and shatters, revealing a hidden hatch. Sarah prompts Peter to open it. However, as he's about to unlock it, Sarah bangs loudly on the door, startling him. The hatch door slowly creaks open, and Sarah crawls out into the dim room, while Peter runs into another room. But something is different. She doesn't appear human. She comes to Peter's room, tries to open the door, and asks him what it was like watching his parents die. Just then, the doorbell rings, and the entity leaves. Brian and his cousins are standing outside the house to teach Peter a lesson. They enter the house, looking for Peter, while he hides under his bed in fear. Amid the chaos, Brian falls and one of the cousins hears a sound as hair slides from the piano. That entity throws him down and kills him. In Peter's room, one of the boys discovers Peter hiding under the bed but leaves upon hearing his brother's voice. Meanwhile, Brian is paralyzed with fear upon discovering Carol's lifeless body. The door suddenly closes on its own, and another cousin is chased by Sarah and pleads for help. Sarah kills each of the boys one by one, and it's Brian's turn. Spiders descend upon Brian, and he finds himself face to face with Sarah, who proceeds to kill him. In a separate scene, Miss Devine is driving to Peter's house. Peter is horrified to see that Sarah has beheaded one of the boys. She crawls out of the room and toward him, revealing that when he was born they were happy, but when she was born they screamed. She was put in a cage, suffering among cobwebs and rats, learning how to manipulate. Sarah drags Peter into the room she emerged from, locks him in, and disappears. Devine arrives at Peter's house, finds a disarray, and tries to call 911. She sees Sarah's hair and is attacked. She attempts to escape but finds the door locked. Peter's voice breaks through, and Devine tries to break the wall, eventually succeeding. Peter and Devine run out of the house, but as Devine rushes outside, she encounters a horrifying sight. Later, Peter wakes up in an underground chamber and discovers a soft toy. Sarah emerges and starts crawling toward him. Peter asks why she's acting this way, and she explains that not every child can be as perfect as him, that she was just born this way, and no one loves a monster. Miss Devine arrives, and Sarah attacks her. Peter uses Sarah's hair to pull himself out of the basement hole, allowing Devine to strike Sarah with a rod. Sarah falls back into the chamber, and Peter locks the lid. Sarah pleads for her freedom, warning Peter that they'll be together forever, as every sound and tap on the wall will remind him of her.